You know, there's a reason people are skipping Florida and Arizona and more retiring here in West Michigan. Maybe it's the beaches and the amazing views. Maybe it's the small town feel for a lot of the cities we have. Maybe it's the fact that you can go from small town to bustling downtown in just a matter of minutes. Whatever it is, we're going to take a look today at the reasons people are moving to West Michigan more and more as we get further and further into the future. I've lived and worked in West Michigan for years, and today we are going to break down the pros and cons of living here in West Michigan, especially in retirement. First thing that a lot of retirees start to ask is it easy to get around in West Michigan? And I will tell you, this kind of depends on where you're at. If you're looking at Grand Rapids, if you're looking at a lot of the suburbs that touch it, whether it's Kentwood or Wyoming, or maybe you're looking at Granville, or maybe you're looking at East Grand Rapids, one of those type of areas, yeah, we have great public transportation. The bus system can get you around. A lot of time, Ubers or Lyfts are absolutely available in these areas. There's a ton of walking trails. There's a ton of bike trails. There's a lot of ways to get around here in West Michigan. However, it starts to get a little bit different the further you move out. If you live in Byron Center or Caledonia, definitely a little bit harder to get around. Not the same kind of access to bus services and a lot of that type of stuff. Same thing as you start to live in Zeeland or maybe Jamestown. Are you in a bit more of a country style area? Then yeah, at that stage, public transportation could absolutely be an issue. The other thing that we want to look at when it comes to transportation is the Gerald R. Ford Airport. And I will say this one I've talked about in videos before is absolutely getting better and better. When I first moved here, the Gerald R. Ford Airport was actually very small, one single terminal, just a few gates. Today, it's doubled in size, 2 terminals, more restaurant options, more gates on each, and there's already another project in the works to expand the airport. So when it comes to the Gerald R. Ford Airport, you might not be able to go to every destination nonstop, but you can absolutely go to every destination. Great airport, small lines, a lot of great choices, definitely a highlight for people looking for transportation in our area. Second thing that a lot of people consider is the seasons, and no doubt we have all 4 seasons. Now I know a lot of people out there will go, oh man, if it's got snow, forget it. And listen, for some of you, that absolutely makes sense. But not every retiree is completely snowphobic. In a lot of cases, people do really enjoy the winter season here in West Michigan. A couple of reasons why. Number one, there's still a lot of things happening publicly here in the winter. We have the Winter Festival downtown that's typically happening. We have a lot going on at like the Van Andel and a lot of our concert venues here through the winter. And of course, there's Rosa Parks Circle if you're interested in ice skating and that type of thing locally. But beyond just that, even with the suburbs, there's a ton of different things to do in the winter. A lot of options. Of course, we have cross-country ski trails if you're interested in getting some exercise but keeping it low impact. And there are a lot of places for sledding and that type of stuff if you might be interested in bringing the grandkids or those type of things here in Michigan in the winter. The other thing we want to look at is spring and summer. Yeah, spring and summer is definitely our big season here in Michigan. Of course, there's so many different things going on in this era. We have access to all the amazing parks, the biking trails, all that different type of stuff out here for spring and summer. Of course, that's one of our favorite times here in West Michigan, and there's no shortage of things to do and check out in this season. And of course, we do have the fall, which is such a beautiful time of year here in West Michigan, as all the leaves start to turn to yellow and red and orange and the amazing colors you see here in the fall. Of course, being in the Midwest, we have a ton of pumpkin patches and apple orchards and all those different amazing things. And being West Michigan, of course, there's access to a ton of fishing through summer and fall. And of course, we have access to a lot of public land for hunting here in West Michigan, just the same too. Next on the list, and this is definitely an important one, especially for people retiring, is access to healthcare. West Michigan has amazing access to healthcare. Whether you're on the medical mile or one of the other facilities that are just spotted all over our major cities, there's no shortage of doctors and specialists here in West Michigan. Of course, with the Holland Children's Hospital, which is widely known to be one of the best in the entire nation, there's a lot of access there. Not that retirees are so much focused on the Children's Hospital, but it's absolutely an amazing institution here in West Michigan. But all the other supporting hospitals around, from Mercy to Spectrum to the U of M hospitals here in the area, there's a ton of choices, and you're never very far away from amazing doctors here in West Michigan. Next on the list, and it's an important one for sure, especially for people on a fixed income, it's the cost of living. One of the main reasons that the Midwest region is so attractive to retirees around the country is the amazing value you get for your money here in our area. When it comes to pricing, we're not the cheapest, but we absolutely are among the top value cities, and you get so much for your money in comparison, especially if you're coming from one of the coastal states. Are you looking at a move from New York, California, Seattle, Oregon, any of those different things, you are going to get so much for your money here in West Michigan. But it's not just housing. It's also just the cost of goods and services. In comparison to the national average, there is an absolute advantage to being here in West Michigan. And one of the big things too that I think compared to a lot of places when it comes to cost of living, we have a lot of room to expand here in West Michigan. A lot of farms are absolutely becoming subdivisions and built up with housing and that type of stuff, which gives just a lot more options for people moving to get the best value for their dollar. Another big one that absolutely draws people in is the outdoor lifestyle here in West Michigan. Of course, there's no shortage of woods here in our area if you're into hiking, biking, any of that different type of stuff. But we also have miles on miles of coastline. Of course, Lake Michigan is one of the big ones, and everybody loves to go there. There's a ton of public land. There's a ton of access to the beaches here in Lake Michigan. It's not just this private resort for people who live on Lake Michigan, but there is a lot, whether it's city, county, or state land, that is absolutely accessible for the public to go to all the time. One of the big ones here too is bicycle riding. West Michigan has so many different bike trails, from the more rugged trails in the state park to the really paved out super long trails like the Paul Henry Trail or the White Pine Trail. There's a ton of different stuff to do outside in West Michigan. And of course, there's our winter sports, whether it's skiing, whether it's snowmobiling, whether it's sledding, a ton of access there just the same. A lot of people still absolutely do hike here in the winter in our area because some of the trails are maintained by the local governments, and then some of them are maintained by private organizations. People will go out there and walk the trails constantly, so it makes it easier for retirees too to get out on those trails and not trudge through the fresh snow. Next on our list, and it's definitely a great one too, it's culture and community. You know, West Michigan just has a ton of things to do, whether it comes down to concerts, events, those types of things. Of course, we are known as Beer City here in Grand Rapids, and the amount of breweries and restaurants is almost uncountable when you start to look at all the places in the city. If going out and checking out new restaurants and trying new things is your thing, then no question West Michigan is going to have a ton of options. But maybe it's not. Maybe it's theater. Maybe it's concerts. Those are all places that we excel here in West Michigan too. Whether you're eating at Wolfgang Puck's or whether you're just simply seeing a concert in the park, there's absolutely going to be a choice for everybody when it comes to culture and community here in our area. Couple of places when we start to look at the top picks of really cool places to retire here in West Michigan. Of course, there are these amazing little communities. Places like Holland, places like Grand Haven are definitely a big attraction, but not just there. Of course, Grand Rapids itself can be an amazing place with everybody being close in downtown and having a lot of options for restaurants or even shopping. That's a big one. Or maybe you're interested in the Cascade and Ada area. A beautiful little residence tucked away into the woods might be a great place for retirement. Or maybe you're interested in being a little south in the farmland and you're looking at Caledonia or Byron Center. Or maybe you're looking at moving a little bit north to Rockford. No shortage for us when it comes to amazing places to retire here in West Michigan. So if you're looking to retire in a place where you can stay active, connected, and really be part of an amazing community, it's worth your time to check out the great things we have. From that outdoor lifestyle all the way to the arts and culture, there's definitely something here for everybody. And if you're not sure where to get started, reach out to me. My contact information is in the description below, and I specialize in finding the right homes for buyers, no matter the budget. So feel free to reach out via DM, or go ahead and even reach into my cell phone number and call or text me if you have any questions on the places to live in West Michigan that would suit you the best.